Let me start with a confession. From the time I started writing, I would often tell myself this: I don't have time to write. And then, very conveniently, I would step away from my desk and spend 40 odd minutes here and there scrolling Instagram, some 20 minutes replying to messages that could have waited otherwise, and literally 0 minute in writing. And after doing all this, I would go back to the same thought again. Oh, I don't have time to write. It's funny, isn't it? And also weird if you think that how we as humans do not have time for the thing we say we love the most. So, if you have ever felt guilty about not writing, not creating something, or even expressing yourself, this episode is for you. Here is a problem that no one talks about. Honestly, most people, they do not struggle with writing. They struggle with starting. Yes, starting. A study from the University of California found that it takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction, which means that every time you wait for the free time, your brain is already tired, even before you begin working. And that's when we start saying things like, I'm not in the mood today. Okay, but I'll write when inspiration strikes. I need my free time. I need a space away from distraction to write. And so on and so forth. But let me tell you something that is slightly uncomfortable. But that's the truth. Inspiration is lazy. Yep, you heard me right. Inspiration is lazy, but discipline is not. I have worked with authors, edited their books, and I have seen a couple of times that authors, they have brilliant ideas, some unfinished manuscripts, some thoughts, but everything is sitting idle in their laptops for years and they have not touched upon it. I have also met women in my circle who come to me and who share this thought that, Sushma, that I would love to write again. I used to enjoy writing, but now I can't because life has happened. And I have been that person myself, always excited about writing ever since I discovered the love for writing. Uh, be it any genre, I was looking forward to what is being, asked from me to create a content, whether it's a script, whether it is editing books, whether it is any corporate content. But deep down, there was one thing which was running, which I did not notice, that while I was chasing the excitement, I was also carrying the feeling of overwhelming that was set by expectations. Think it as something you tell yourself, and even before you notice, it becomes an added pressure to you. I did that to myself. Whenever I wrote, I thought this piece of content has to be perfect. It has to be compelling, it has to have the wow factor, it should be deep, it should be inspiring, publish worthy, and many other keywords. But what it did to me was it was quietly killing the creativity. That happens when we set too much of expectations and bring in the pressure. But for me, thankfully, things started shifting when I changed my perspective of how I see these things. Rather than asking myself that how do I write better, I started asking how do I show up consistently without putting any pressure on myself, without scaring myself, just showing up consistently every day. That's when I created my 10-minute writing ritual. And yes, I call it a ritual, not a routine, because ritual do not demand productivity. They just want you to be present. And I call this 10-minute writing framework and ritual the right method. WRITE, right. W stands for warm up the mind. Now, when I say warm up, we are not going for any fancy exercises. We are instead going to sit with ourselves and just breathe normally in and out a couple of times, and that's how you warm up your mind. Sometimes I have turned my drawing pages and seen what kind of mandala I have drawn over the past couple of months. Sometimes I just pick up a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and draw a small mini mandala. Sometimes I just stare at them and try to understand that what might I be thinking while creating one. Now, why I'm giving the reference of mandala here is because in Indian philosophy, the mandala represents wholeness, which means you are not starting empty, you are starting contained, and that is more important. So, once you warm up your mind, step forward to release without editing. R for release. Pick up a pen and paper, just start writing. Write anything that comes to you. Good sentences, bad sentences, complaints, random thoughts, grocery list. Try that, it works wonder. Your to-do list for the day. Try writing these things. Just writing, no editing in the mind. Julia Cameron, author of The Artist's Why, calls this entire process of release as clearing the mental dust. And trust me, once you do it yourself, you would understand that what it means. So once you do a release of your thoughts without editing them, move ahead and try to identify one honest line. I is for identify. Whatever you wrote, whether it's a grocery list, whether it's a sentence, thoughts, you have scribbled something, try to find something that feels real to you. Nothing fancy, beautiful, just real, raw, honest. And once you have found out that, you are close to give it a title. T stands for title. So give it a working title. Again, no need to think about a very decorative word, just a random thought that what would I call this? The line which I underlined just now. And you would realize that when you're trying to give it a title, you're actually tricking your brain into thinking that, oh, this is something interesting. Oh, this matters. This is not something which is random. And that is when you take a pause and exit gently. This is important, to take an exit and not stay there for very long, because remember, it's a 10-minute ritual. And when you're ready to exit, you're actually given yourself 10 minutes break from the routine thinking, writing and editing. And that helps you to return easier than before. Research from Stanford University shows that short creative sprints like these, they reduce the resistance and increase consistency. Also, a fun fact here is, Agatha Christie wrote lot of ideas in short bursts and not long sessions. So again, you would realize that how consistency can beat the pressure which we all put on ourselves. So 10 minutes, just 10 minutes every day. It looks very easy, it is doable, and that is why it works wonder. Even in Mahabharata, Arjuna was not the best archer because he practiced for long hours. Arjuna was known for his skills because he practiced with focus every single day. Krishna himself never said this, that practice for hours and will do great. But he insisted that we all must abhyas. Put consistent effort without attachment to the result. And that is why we call it a 10-minute ritual and not a routine. I have personally used this 10-minute ritual multiple times while working on my mandala journal. There were some days where I wrote just a paragraph or even loosely written some of the content here and there. Few days I could only write down the reflection prompts that would go in the journal. But doing it consistently, I saw that in almost 30 days, I had a rough manuscript ready for my journal book. And by 90th day, I had my final script ready to go to the publisher. Now, all of this did not happen because I was super charged up, motivated, I had to do this and that, but because I showed up every day. I showed up small, but I was there every day. And let me tell you, to do this, to practice this, you do not need any fancy notebooks. You do not need any fancy stuff. You can use your note app, which is fine. You can always write in a messy handwriting. Even that would do. Nobody is coming to judge you for your handwriting here. So, in this process, the perfection is not the key. It is just a commitment to yourself, which you do every day for 10 minutes. So, before we close, here is a question for you. If writing only took 10 minutes, what would stop you today? Sit with that thought. And if this episode has helped you, subscribe to the Creative Compass podcast on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. Every Friday, I'll sit with you for 10 minutes so that creativity feels less heavy and more human. Next episode, we are going to talk about why your story matters even when you think it does not. So until then, show up small, be consistent, and the rest will follow. Trust me.